Hi, this is another video in Easy English, and today we are going to talk about the days of the week. Do you remember days of the week in English? I hope you do. I hope you know them. But today you will hear some interesting information about them. What are we going to talk about? I want to tell you why the days of the week have their names and where these names come from. I hope it will be interesting for you. Let's start with a question. What is the first day of the week? Well, if you are Ukrainian and if you live in Ukraine, you probably think that the first day of the week is Monday. Yes, in our calendar, we usually start a week with Monday. But do you know that in some other countries, the first day of the week isn't Monday? Do you know what day it is? It is Sunday. And Sunday is the first day of the week in such countries as the USA, Canada, Japan, Israel, and some other countries. But in most European countries, Monday is the first day of the week. But let's start with Sunday today. So, Sunday. What object do you think this name comes from? What do you hear when you say Sunday? I think it's quite easy, right? Sunday. So this is the day of the sun. And of course, many people love Sundays because this is a day off. We don't usually work on Sunday. We can relax, we can have some rest. And of course, when you are relaxed, it feels like the sun is shining. So Sundays are the days when you can enjoy the sun, fresh air, you can spend time outside with your friends, you can do whatever you want. Yeah, this is a really wonderful, gorgeous, and amazing time. But then comes Monday. And here it's a little bit more difficult to understand. So when you hear Monday, what do you think it is named after? Where does this word come from? Well, if Sunday comes from the sun, the day of the sun, then Monday, I will give you a hint, it's very close. It's something that is the opposite of the sun, the opposite to the sun, And do you know what it is? When can we usually see the sun? During the day, right? In the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. And what can you sometimes see at night? I think you know what I'm talking about, and it is the moon. The moon is something that we can see at night. It's a satellite of our planet. And the word moon helped to create the name of the first day of the week, Monday. So Monday is the day of the moon. Did you know that? I didn't. I think this is a very interesting information. And if you think about it, many people don't like Mondays because on Monday you have to wake up early, and usually this is the first day of your working week. So you need to go to work on Monday, or you need to work at home on Monday, in my case. And many people don't want to work, they don't want to wake up early. They want to sleep in the morning on Monday. And now you know why. This is because Monday is the day of the moon. Of course, you want to sleep. Monday is the day for sleep. You shouldn't work on Monday. You should stay in bed and sleep. Yes, now you know that. But let's move on and let's learn about the second day of the week. Do you know what is the name of this day? The second day of the week is Tuesday. And here it's a little bit different. The word Tuesday doesn't come from the name of a planet or something from the space. No, it comes from the name of a god. In ancient mythology, there was a god whose name was Tu. Tu. There are 3 letters in this word, and they are T-I-W. And this is an old language. So it is Old English that people don't use now. So it was difficult to understand how to pronounce this name, but I found this information, and the name of this god was Tu. And Tu was a god of war. If you know Roman or Greek mythology, do you know any other gods of war? I can give you an example from Roman myth, and in ancient Rome, the god of war was called Mars. Mars was the name of a god of war in ancient Rome. But in Old English, in ancient English mythology or Norse mythology, the name of the same person, the same idea, the god of war, was Tu. And Tu was a very strong warrior. Warrior is a person who fights, who goes to war and fights with bad people, with enemies. So Tu was very strong, and the second day of the week, Tuesday, was called after him. So on Tuesday, you shouldn't stay in bed late and sleep in the morning. You should wake up early and get up straight away. And you should be ready to fight. You should be ready to work. Tuesday is very energetic day, full of energy and full of adventures, okay? All right. Please tell me what is the third day of the week. I hope you remember that the third day of the week is Wednesday. And let me see where this word comes from. Again, it comes from old or very old ancient Norse mythology. And it comes from the name of God. But this God was named Woden. Woden, okay? Maybe you heard another name, Odin. Odin is very popular and a lot of people heard this name, which comes from Scandinavian mythology. But there was another god whose name was Woden, but he had the same personality. So he was strong, he was wise, and he was very important. And he gave the name to the third day of the week, Wednesday, Woden's day. Yeah, so Tuesday was Tuesday, because Tu was the name of the god, so Tu apostrophe and S, yeah, Tuesday. And Wednesday comes from Woden's day. So Woden's day, Wednesday. So now we have Wednesday. And we continue with the fourth day of the week. Do you remember its name? It's very similar for some people to the name of the second day of the week, which is Tuesday, but it's a little bit different because it's not Tuesday, it is Thursday. And again, the logic is the same. It comes from the name of the god. Now I think you know this name because some years ago there was a film about this god. I didn't watch this film, but I heard about it and many people liked it. So maybe you watched this film. The name of this god was or is Thor. Thor was the god with a hammer. And he was like a superhero of old mythology. This god was responsible for thunder and lightning. Do you know what is thunder and lightning? When there is a storm, so very heavy rain, and it's very dark and cloudy, and then you suddenly hear some loud noise. This loud noise is thunder, and lightning, it's a very quick, very fast light that you can see in the sky. So this is lightning, like electricity in the sky, right? But many years ago, people didn't know about electricity or about different phenomena that we know now. So when they saw all these storms, they imagined a big god with a hammer in his hands, and he made this terrible noise. Okay, so maybe people thought that when he was angry, he used his hammer to make this noise to scare people. But they called the fourth day of the week Thursday after the name of this god because they respected him and they wanted to show him how important he was for them. Okay, so we didn't talk about what to do on Wednesday and Thursday. We remember that on Sunday you should spend time outside. Yeah, you should enjoy the sun. On Monday you can sleep because this is the day of the moon. What about Tuesday? Yeah, I said about Tuesday you need to be ready for a fight. You need to be energetic on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, as Wednesday is the day of wise and strong wooden, well, you need to be wise and strong. You need to be attentive. You need to do your work well. You need to be ready for important things to decide, for important decisions. And on Thursday, you need to be careful and you need to be ready for a storm. Okay, it's just a joke. Our main idea now is to learn why we call the days like that. It's just other things are not important. But here comes the 5th day of the week, and now it will be interesting again. It is also named after some particular god. I think in this case it's goddess, it's a woman. And do you remember the name of the 5th day of the week? It's Friday. And maybe you heard the name Freya. It was a goddess in Scandinavian mythology, but the name Friday comes from the name of another goddess whose name was Frigg. And it's a name of a goddess from Norse mythology, from Norse stories. But Frigg, like Freya, was also a goddess of love and beauty. So here we can say again that Friday is a day for love. And you can forget about work, you can forget about your business. You should go on a date in the evening, or you should have a date with yourself, and you should enjoy this day full of love and beauty. And here comes the 6th day of the week, which is, please tell me, Saturday. And now we will talk about one more god, but here will be a Roman god, not Scandinavian and not a god from Norse stories. No, here we have the name of a Roman god whose name was Saturn. Saturn. Do you know this word? Because now there is a planet, a planet with a ring around it, which is also called Saturn. Saturn was the god of time and farming. Farming, it's when you work in your garden or in your farm. So you work with plants, you work outside, or with with plants. Yes, so you grow different plants like trees, bushes, flowers, vegetables, fruit, and so on. So as Saturn was the god of farming and the god of time, and Saturday is the day of Saturn, or Saturn's day. Yeah, Saturn's day, Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. This day you should spend in your garden. You should work with plants, you should water them, or you should go to your dacha or to your garden. And if you don't have a garden, you can walk in the park, for example, and you can look at beautiful plants around you, different green trees, bushes, and flowers, and enjoy them. That's it. Now you know why the days of the week have their names, and you also get some recommendations what to do on these days. It's interesting, yeah, to know that the names of days of the week in English come from the names of different gods and from different planets like the sun, the moon, and Saturn. What is your favorite day of the week. Which day do you like the most? If you have a favorite day, please write it down in the comments, and don't forget that when you write the day of the week in English, you should start with a capital letter. So the first letter is always bigger than others. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope it was interesting for you. See you soon. Bye bye.